Hello and welcome back to another haul. And this month I went to London and yep, I ended up with 42 volumes. So yeah, you might have seen my previous video where I did a shopping vlog in London Forbidden Planet, and that's where this entire stack came from. This stack was other shops and this is my stack, which I got online. Yeah, I didn't buy much online this month as I knew I was going to be going to Forbidden Planet, and yeah. I tend to stick to just like between 20-25 volumes a month. So yeah, this month I went way over that, as you can probably tell. Anyway, let's get into the haul, and I'm going to start with the stuff that I got online. As I say, there's not much. So first up, I found this on eBay. This is Fruits Basket Uncovered, The Secrets of the Somas. And this is an unofficial fan book from the Mysteries and Secrets Revealed series. This is number 10. There's a bunch of these from different manga and anime series. They're unofficial, and it just has some like facts and about different things in here. Not all of them are 100% accurate. I have gone through and read some of these, and some of them aren't accurate, but most of them tend to be. But as I say, this is unofficial, and it's kind of a cool thing to have. It's Fruits Basket. I tend to gravitate to anything that has that name on it. Yeah, I know there's quite a lot of these. I think there's 25 of these in total. I did have a list of all the ones I found, like what they all were, but I don't have it with me. But you can see in the back of the book that there is a Fullmetal Alchemist one and an Inuyasha one, which I might see if I can find. There's also surprisingly one for Blood Plus. I love Blood Plus, but you can never find anything from that series, so I might also try to track that one down as well. So yeah, that's Fruits Basket Uncovered. Next up, I got Something's Wrong With Us Volume 14 because I was looking for this everywhere in London and I could not find it. So I just ordered it once I got back because I love this series and I couldn't not have this series this month. There was like 6 other volumes that I couldn't find from my list, but they can wait. Whereas this one I didn't want to wait for, so I went ahead and grabbed it when I got back. So yeah, Something's Wrong With Us is great. Here's some art. Next up, I got volumes 2 and 3 of the light novel for Sugar Apple Fairy Tale, as well as volume 1 of the seinen manga adaptation. So yeah, I watched the anime for Sugar Apple Fairy Tale this month, and I absolutely loved it. It was like my favourite from the season. And I already had the first light novel, which I'm currently reading, but I went ahead and bought volumes 2 and 3, and this covers all of what the first part of the anime does. There is a part 2 coming out in July, which will probably cover, I'm thinking, volumes 4, 5, and 6. But yeah, I grabbed these online. And Sugar Apple Fairy Tale is great. This is a fantasy shoujo light novel series, which follows Anne. And she is, after the death of her mother, she's decided she wants to follow in her footsteps to become a silver sugar master. But in order to do that, she needs to travel to this place called Lewiston, where they hold this contest and the winners get to become silver sugar masters. So there's these things in this world called sugar apples, and they refine them into sugar and then make them into like confections. But the road to Lewiston is fraught with dangers, and in order to get there, she needs to buy a fairy, because in this world, fairies are slaves. They're like captured out the wild and put in markets and stuff. So she buys Shell from a fairy market. He's a warrior fairy, so she buys him with the purpose of being her bodyguard, and says, if you do this for me and become my bodyguard and take me to this Lewiston, I'll then set you free once we're there. Because in order to control fairies, they cut off one of their wings, and she has his wing, and she says, I'll give you this back if you can safely get me there. And so they begin their journey to get to Lewiston. But that is just like the first light novel, or also the first 4 episodes of the anime. There are some more stories continuing past that point. So I also picked up the seinen manga adaptation. As though the light novel is shoujo, this manga adaptation is a seinen. But I haven't read this yet, but I'm not 100% keen on the art style that they used, especially Shell. I'm not very keen on Shell's design in this manga adaptation, but the story's probably fine. It's probably exactly the same, but I just don't know whether I want to continue the manga because I'm just not keen on the way they designed Shell. I much prefer the way he's designed in the anime and in the light novel, if you compare the two. But although each volume if this volume has a short story written by the light novel author in the back, and if they all have these, then I might continue to pick them up just for those. But as I say, the story's probably exactly the same. It's just I'm not keen on the art style. Anyway, that's all that I picked up online this month. So now we're going into this stack here, which is the Forbidden Planet stack, and then I'll go into the other stack here, which is stuff I got from Japan Craft foils and another comic book shop that we came across, which was in Camden, but I don't remember what it's called. Anyway, so let's get into this stack. First up, I have Golden Sparkle. This is a BL by the same author as I Didn't Mean to Fall in Love, which I picked up last month. This boy is 2 high school students, and this guy has recently been having wet dreams, and he's unsure about what they are, but one of his classmates decides to help him out with his issues. I bought these like 3 days ago now, so I haven't read any of them yet because I'm still finishing off the stuff that I had from last month. As you will see, I am planning on doing a reading log sometime in the first week of June. I will be filming a reading log of everything that I read in May, and you'll see what I read in that. But yeah, Golden Sparkle, it's a new BL by Sublime. Next up is My Girlfriend's Child, and this is a new shoujo series that recently won an award. I think it was the Kodansha Manga Award that this one won. So yeah, I was highly anticipating this one. This is about a teenage couple who have recently been intimate, and the girl ends up pregnant, and it's about the struggles and what goes along with teenage pregnancy and all of that. As I say, I've yet to read any of these, but this one did win an award, and it's been had loads of praise, and I hear a lot of good things about it. And the art style's kind of nice too. It's kind of simplistic, but it's like a really nice art style. And next up, I have My Secret Affection Volume 2. This is the second and final volume of this shoujo series about a meteorite that crashes into Earth and turns everybody gay. So everyone on the Earth is now gay, apart from this one guy who was in space when it happened, so he wasn't affected. And this is his grandson, and this girl is the childhood friend of the grandson, but she's recently figured out that she is straight in the first volume, and now she also realizes she has feelings for him, but she doesn't think he's gonna like her back because obviously she thinks he's gay because everyone else in the world is. So I haven't read the second volume yet. I did enjoy the first volume, it was quite cute. Right. Next up is another BL, a Tokyo Pop one. I tend to pick up all Tokyo Pop's one-shots. This is Snow Fairy. I'm pretty sure this one's about... This one takes place in Okinawa. Oh, no, not Okinawa. Hokkaido. Does it take place in Hokkaido? It's about a wildlife photographer who goes to, I think, Hokkaido to take pictures and ends up caught in a snowstorm, and he has to spend the winter living with this guy. Or the guy that's not him on the front cover. And it's like photography and stuff like that. But I really like the cover on this one. I thought it was nice. Here's some art. Next up is another Tokyo Pop BL, and that is Cut Over Criteria. There was one more I was looking for, which was the Platinum Blood one with the vampire and the priest, but they didn't have it. This is Cut Over Criteria. I think this one's about... this is an office romance. Masato tends to view the world as one of the big software programs, and when his new subordinate at work, a young but talented man named Jin Hajiwara, suddenly confesses to him, Haruna left thinking there must be some sort of bug. If he just goes along with Jin's confession, it gives him a chance to test for it. He's a successful systems engineer after all, and this is just a test, right? So that's crossover criteria. Next up is another Tokyo Pop, but this one's not a BL nor is it a one-shot. I think this is 2 volumes long. It's My Coworker Has a Secret. This is a shoujo series. It's an office romance following a woman who is an otaku for idols, and she keeps this a secret for everyone, and then she accidentally tells someone in a park, I think, and that guy turns out to be her co-worker at her new job. So now, like, he has to keep her secret. Next up is Tsubaki Chow Lonely Planet Volume 3 by Mika Yamamori. I have been enjoying Mika Yamamori stuff recently, although I haven't read Daytime Shooting Star yet. I do have it though. And Tsubaki Chow Lonely Planet is a good one. I really like it, but it is an age gap that isn't 8 year. Is it 8 years? Or 12 years? No, I think it's a 12-year age gap. Because she is 16, he is 28. So there is a big age gap. If you don't like age gaps, you should probably avoid this one. But she has to go live in his place as a live-in housekeeper. So she's doing all his housework and stuff. In exchange, she's getting paid because her family's in debt. But yeah, it's a really good one, and I'm enjoying it. Next up is Cheeky Brat Volume 6. Again, I'm really enjoying Cheeky Brat. It's high school romance basketball. A bit like Waiting for Spring meets Maid Summer sort of thing. So yeah, I do enjoy Cheeky Brat, and this is Volume 6. Next up is A Condition Called Love Volume 2. Now, I decided to continue with this series for at least a couple more volumes. I want to give it like the 3-volume rule chance, because I wasn't keen on Volume 1 of this one, because I really did not like the main dude, Anouis. I found him creepy and a bit stalkerish. But I've heard that it gets better. I've heard that he calms down a bit, so I did want to give it another couple of volumes to see. A Condition Called Love is about this girl who's like, she's never been in a relationship before, and then one day she sees him getting rejected by his girlfriend in a restaurant, and he gets water thrown on him, and then she gives him her umbrella, and then he kind of becomes obsessed with her and starts following around and says he's in love with her and that he wants to go out with her, and she doesn't want to at first, but then she kind of decides to maybe give it a test run. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of Anouis, but I will give it a couple more volumes. Next up, I have one of my favourites, which is Love Sakari Volume 9. I continue to adore this series a lot. Eri is definitely one of my favourite main characters. She is great. I say I haven't read any of these yet, but I love Love Sakari a lot. Next up is Volume 25 of Kagisama of His War. This series is coming to an end soon. I think it's 28 volumes in total. I am not 100% sure though, it might be more. I know it's definitely finished in Japan though. And I know this is in the final arc, as the end of the previous volume said, been right now entering the final arc. Yeah, I still really like Kagisama. Next is My Special One Volume 2. I did enjoy Volume 1 of the series. This is about a girl who's sworn off like beautiful men because her boyfriend in middle school humiliated her. Like, she wrote him a love letter and then he read it out to everyone and made fun of her and stuff. But then she meets this guy who is an idol in the famous idol group. What's it called again? Yes, I can't remember. Like Legend. He's from the famous idol group Like Legend, and he starts coming to her family's restaurant, and eating there to kind of get out away from people and stuff, because usually he has fans chasing him around, and he like mistakes her for his fan, and she's like, I'm not your fan, I don't like you. Now he's determined to make her into his fan. Next up I have volumes 2 and 3 of Rainbow Days, because I fell behind on this series for some reason. I thought volume 1 was okay. It wasn't the best thing I've ever read, but I enjoyed it enough to again give it a couple more volumes, which I've kind of fell behind. Ooh, volume 3 is quite a bit thicker than volume 2, isn't it? Anyway, Rainbow D's. Well, they might have Rainbow D's, I don't know. Rainbow Days is a shoujo series that follows 4 high school boys and their like daily lives, and each trying to get like girlfriends and stuff. So yeah, I don't remember any of the guys' names, but yeah, there's these 2 guys, and then there's yeah, these are the 4 guys here, and it kind of follows them, and then these girls. So yeah, I thought, as I said, I thought volume 1 was okay, and I did want to give it another couple volumes. And volume 3 maybe is a lot thicker than volume 2. Okay, next up is a series I was anticipating quite a lot because I really like the anime for this one. I know it's quite a controversial series, some people hate it, but I really liked it. And that is Wolfgang Black Prince Volume 1. This is the same author as Imakai. It's completely different to Imakai though. This series was Erica, and Erica lied to her friends saying that she had a boyfriend, but she didn't. But now they want to see proof, so she goes up to this random boy on the street and just takes a picture of him and then shows her friends as like, look, here's my boyfriend. But then it turns out the guy she actually took a picture of goes to her school, and he's like threatening to tell her friends that they're not actually dating. And she doesn't want that to happen, so he's like, if you become my dog, my servant, and basically do everything I tell you to do, then I'll go along with this farce of pretending to be your boyfriend. And so she agrees, and there's Wolfgang Black Prince. So she basically like becomes his dog. I'd say it's a controversial one. A lot of people don't like it, but I really did like the anime, and I've heard that the manga's even better. Yeah, that's Wolfgang Black Prince. And speaking of Imakai, I have Imakai Volume 5. Again, this is the same creator, but this one's a very fluffy and cute one. About a girl who gets saved on the train by this guy who looks like a delinquent, but he's actually very kind, and they start dating. Yeah, I do like Imakai as well. Next up, I have Kakuryou, Ben Breakfast with Spirits Volume 8. This series is on such a slow release schedule. I love the anime for this one. It's kind of shoujo, fantasy, slice of life meets cooking. And yeah, it was very good, but we're not even halfway through the anime in terms of manga volumes so far, because the anime is actually based off a light novel series, which we don't have in English, which I'd really love if we did get that light novel in English. I mean, J-Novel Club gave us The Earl and the Fairy, which is another one I've always wanted in English, so maybe someday we'll get this one too. But yeah, this was Aoi, who is a 19-year-old girl who gets sucked into the world of Ayakashi because her grandfather actually worked up a debt at this restaurant called Tenjin-yo, and he said instead of paying the debt, he decides to hand over Aoi, his granddaughter, to the master of Tenjin-yo, who is like an ogre. Instead, as payment for his debt, he says, you can marry and have my daughter. So Aoi then has to become his bride, but she's like, no, I don't want to become your bride, I'll pay off the debt in another way. So she decides to open up a restaurant and pay off the debt that way instead. Yeah, it was a very good anime series, and I do enjoy the manga too. It's just super slow releases, and these volumes are also super thin as well when they do come out. Which is why I'm really hoping to get the light novel someday to finally find out what happens after the end of the anime. because it's going to be a while before we do that with the manga. Next up, I have Mao, Volume 10, Rumiko Takahashi. Again, I like the series. I generally like Rumiko Takahashi. I wasn't keen on Utsui Yatsura, but I generally like her other series. Next up is My Love Mix Up Volume 7. Again, this is a Shojo BL series. Right? It's a very cute and fluffy one. I really like it. It's coming to an end in a couple of volumes' time. Volume 9 is the last one. And next is Spy Family Volume 9. Continuing with Spy Family, I still really like it. I think this volume ends the cruise ship arc that started in the previous volume. And there's Bond. Bond is very cute. I like Bond. We have Becky on the front of this volume with a sheep. Next, another series that I absolutely adore, and that's the Kingsbridge Volume 10. This cover is actually kind of spoilery, so maybe I should just keep it on the back cover. But yeah, I love the King's Beast. It's a fantasy shoujo, same author as Dawn of the Arcana. It's great. Next up, this is an early release because this isn't actually out in the UK until next month, but Forbidden Planet had it early, and that's Don't Call It Mystery by Yumi Tamura. Now, I've been looking forward to this series a lot because I do like Yumi Tamura. I've read the first 12 volumes of Basara and I really like that, and then I've watched the anime for 7 Seeds and I really like that, and I really want the manga in English because I've heard the manga's even better than the anime, and I love the anime, so I'll probably read the manga too. But I have it all in Japanese, but still no English release, sadly, but maybe if this is popular enough, we might finally get it. But yeah, I'm not keen on Yumi Tamura's art style. It's definitely not my favourite type of art. But I do like her stories, and this is the best-selling josei series in Japan right now. And it is a mystery series about this guy. I forget his name, but he ends up getting wrapped up in mysteries when he basically wants nothing to do with it. All he wants to do is eat curry, but he gets accused of like a murder, I think, and he has to help solve it. And then he ends up getting wrapped up in other mysteries as well and having to deal with those when he basically wants nothing more than to eat curry. Totino, that's his name. He stands out both for his bushy hairdo and his finely honed abilities of observation and deduction. When Totino is accused of murder, he puts his skills to work and uses his exceptional insights to find the real killer. Later, all Totino wants to do is return to his own little world, but he can't avoid getting caught up in one mystery after another. In his own blunt yet gentle way, Totino is a truth seeker who tries to make sense of the chaotic and often dangerous world. Also, this is a 2-in-1 omnibus. I think there's quite a lot of these out in Japan right now. Next, I have Bonbon Super Cute Doggies, and I got it because it's dogs. We need more dog manga in English, so if I see dog manga, I'm gonna buy it. It's just a 4-coma series about dogs being cute, basically. That's it. There's not much of a plot. It's just little cute 4-comas about these little Shiba Inus. I think they're line stickers. I think in Japan, you have Line, which is like a social media sort of thing. And like you get stickers that you can use in your text and stuff, and I think these are from that. So yeah, there's Bonbon's Super Cute Doggies. Next up, I have The Dragon King's Imperial Wrath Volume 1, and this is heavy. The paper in this one seems very thick and heavy. It weighs more than Do Not Call It Mystery, and that's a 2-in-1. This is a new fantasy shoujo. I might be based on a light novel. I'm not 100% sure. It's The Dragon King's Imperial Wrath, falling in love with the bookish princess of the Rat Clan. So it's about the Chinese zodiac, basically. There's the 12 clans. The most powerful clan is the Dragon Clan. The weakest clan is the Rat Clan. And the emperor of the Dragon Clan is trying to find a bride. So he asks people from each of the clans to send over their princesses and stuff. And the Rat Princess wants nothing to do with it. She's just in the library reading books, and he finds her there, and then he declares that she's the one that he wants. And I just realised I've left the price on some of these, and I'm going to have to go through and take those off. Next up, To Your Eternity Volume 18. This continues the modern day arc. I still do like the series. Next up is Calum Generic Romance Volume 3. Still really enjoying the series a lot. Like, the ending of Volume 1 just gets you hooked, and you just need to continue reading more. Because unlike the cover states, it's not a generic romance at all. There's like sci-fi elements as well. Anyway, this takes place in the city of Kowloon, which was like a city in Hong Kong. It doesn't exist anymore. It was destroyed. But in this world, Kowloon still exists, and it's like a sci-fi as well. And she works at this real estate company, and there's this guy who works there, who she likes, but then there's also mysteries involved and stuff like that, and it's very good. Next, I have Volume 21 of Children of the Whales. This ends in 2 volumes time. There's 23 in total, and yeah, I love Children of the Whales, and as always, the covers for this series are amazing. Like, Children of the Whales are like my favourite covers ever. You can't get a better cover of a manga than you can with Children of the Whales. And again, the hands are always so well drawn in the series. And the artwork inside is always super nice as well. So yeah, this series is coming to an end soon, which is a bit of a shame because I really like the series, but also it does need to end. Next is Alice in Borderland 5. We're getting to the end of the first pile. We're getting there. Oh, probably should have shown that page. Yeah, we're now into season 2 territory of the live action. Really like Alice in Borderland. I don't know, I do slightly prefer the live action over the manga. The manga is still good too. We have Orochi Volume 4. This is the final volume. These are short. Well, not necessarily short, but they're horror stories about this woman called Orochi and the people she encounters and stuff. I'm pretty sure this volume has 2 stories. But yeah, this is the final one. We have Eyes. What's the other one called? I'm pretty sure there was a table of contents in here somewhere. Eyes and Bird are the 2 stories in this one. And then last in this pile is Tombs by Junji Ito. This is a new short story collection from Junji Ito, which contains how many short stories? It contains these short stories. I've recently watched the Junji Ito Maniac on Netflix, and I think a lot of the stories in this one are actually included on there. So we have Tombs, which is previously known as Toontown, Clubhouse, Slug Girl, The Window Next Door. That was included, I think, on the first Junji Ito anime they did. Washed Ashore used to be known as The Thing That Washed Ashore. The Strange Tale of the Tunnel, Bronze Statue, Floaters, and The Buddy Story of Shiro Suna are included in this collection. I just pick up anything Junji Ito brings out. I'm not keen on the Soichi stories, but I will still pick up the Soichi collection as well, just to like, so I have the complete set of his stories. Next up is the things I've found in other places. This first one is called Melco, Lovely Muko, The Happy Daily Life of Muko and Mr. Kometsu. This I found in foils. This is the only thing I picked up in foils. And this is apparently based off a real person and his Akita. He's a grass grower, and this is the daily life of him and his dog. Again, it's dog manga, and I said if I see dog manga, I'm gonna pick it up. And also the nose is embossed. It sticks out. The paws don't, but the nose does. It's a shiny nose. Next up are things that I got in Japan Craft, and that is those 4 here. So first, I found this BL called Midnight Rain by Sublime. I kind of like the cover. It takes place in a laundromat, I think. Ethan lives a monotonous life trying to pay off his crippling debt until the day Mike appears at the neighborhood laundromat, looking the worse for wear. Both men find themselves struggling in different ways to go on, and it's these struggles that bring them together in the throes of passion, while simultaneously threatening to tear them apart. Yeah, it's Midnight Rain. I noticed it, and it's a sublime title that I hadn't actually heard of before, and it sounded interesting. Then I grabbed it. Next up is Tokyo Aliens Volume 3. It's a action shonen series about aliens. And like this bureau of people who fight against illegal aliens, but the aliens are actual aliens. And then we have this one I found. This is based on a light novel, I do believe. This is called The Haunted Bookstore Gateway to a Parallel Universe. And this is a josei series, which is one of the reasons I picked it up. Because I need more josei. But it also sounded super interesting. So it follows this woman who lives and works in this haunted bookstore along with her father, who is a ghost. Harry lives in a bookstore where the boundaries between the mortal realm and the spirit realm are blurred. She spends her days in peace selling books to otherworldly beings alongside her adoptive father, Spirit himself. But all of that is disrupted when a self-proclaimed exorcist stumbles into the ghostly utopia. Can Carrie embrace her better nature and help a man who's vowed revenge against all spirits find his way back home? Yeah, I think there's 3 volumes of this out so far, and then I think there's 6 volumes out the light novel. Yeah, this one sounded really good, so I grabbed that. And then the last one I found at Japan Craft is The Betrayal Knows My Name, Volume 2. Again, this is a 2-in-1 omnibus. I had the first volume a while, and I think the series is out of print, and I saw that they had Volume 2. They also had 6, 7, and 8 as well, but I don't correct out of order, so I would need 3, 4, and 5 in order to pick those 3 up. But yeah, I grabbed Volume 2. This is a shoujo like fantasy sort of series with kind of BL-ish elements. I don't think it's actually considered a BL, but it has like those undertones to it. Like, it's like demons and supernatural stuff. I did really enjoy the first volume, and glad I could find this for retail price because I'm pretty sure this series is out of print. And then last up is the 2 volumes that I picked up in the other comic shop that we found in Camden, but I can't remember what it's called. But we left Japan Craft at Camden Market, and we walked down Camden High Street to go to McDonald's, and we noticed the sign for this comic shop whilst we were walking down there, and it said it was that way, so we went that way, and there it was. But I can't remember what it was called, but we went in to check to see if it had manga, and it had a few. It's not a big selection, but there were a few in there. So anyway, what I picked up in there was Boys Abyss Volume 1. This is a new release. I've heard it's very dark and messed up and depressing, and I like those kind of things. So I decided I'd probably enjoy this. It was on my list. I have known about it. I just didn't expect to find it this early. But we have Reiji's life is as miserable as the small town he can't escape. The most interesting thing that's ever happened there is a double suicide down by the river. Does Reiji have any power over his fate, or will he too fall into the abyss? Reiji's mother is checked out, he's stuck caring for his grandmother with dementia, and his childhood friend treats him like a lackey. Then beautiful big city pop star Nagi miraculously shows up working the counter at the local convenience store. Reiji is starstruck when she offers him the ultimate way out of his claustrophobic existence. Will he succumb to temptation? Obviously, this is rated mature. There is sex scenes in here, and there was a lot of trigger warnings too. So it's probably best to look those up because I'm not 100% sure what all of them are. But I say I like dark series like this, so I'll probably enjoy it. And the last one I grabbed, which was also at that comic shop, was Why Raeliana Ended Up at the Duke's Mansion, and this is a manhwa. It's also full colour. It's based off a webtoon, I think. And there's an anime for this one currently airing, and I thought the anime looked very interesting, and I put it on my list to watch once it finishes, because I like to binge stuff once they've finished airing, rather than watch them weekly. But yeah, the shop also put all their manga in plastic, apart from Boys Abyss wasn't plastic. Boys Abyss was plastic wrap for being 18 plus anyway, but the ones that weren't plastic wrapped already, they put in these protector things. So let me just grab that. So yeah, it's a manhwa, so it's read the other way around. It's also full colour. Yeah, I think it's an isekai. I think she gets reincarnated into a novel that she's read, and she ends up. I don't know if it's. I don't think it's villainous, but I think it is an isekai. And yep. Okay, somebody's calling me, so I'm probably gonna have to end the haul there. So I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next month for my reading log. And goodbye.